Hello again. So you may have seen my last video or my latest video where I showed you how to make Cuban bread. I hope you guys watched it, or want to make it for your family like I do. So, but some of you are probably going like, what are you doing? Where's my low carb bread, or where's my keto bread? So today I'm going to show you this really wonderful recipe. This is not my recipe either. I actually found it on YouTube a while back from this YouTuber called Deidra, and since then there's a lot of people that that have been making this bread or different versions of it. So I literally just have written down the recipe. It's amazing. The only thing I'm gonna do different is she uses powdered swerve for the sweetener. I don't have that. I have this Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. This is granulated. I'm gonna use this instead. Everything else is exactly what she uses in the recipe. So let's get started. This is gonna be a loaf of bread, and you wanna have set aside an 8.5. This is 8x4. It's more of a smaller pan, but if you have like an 8x5 or a 9x5, you can use it. And I've just greased it with some spray. So you set that aside. You're gonna want to have a big enough bowl to mix everything. There's quite a bit of ingredients, but hopefully, let me adjust my camera a little bit. Hopefully you guys have some of this already at home. If you do already bake low carb or keto, this is not a gluten-free bread. So if you are gluten intolerant, then this bread is not for you. But keto and low carb, this works perfect for sandwiches. You can toast it. I mean, you'll see how it looks. I've also made French toast with it, and it's really delicious. So we are going to start with some warm water. This is a cup of warm water. Remember, your water has to be warm to the touch, but not hot for the yeast. Okay, we're gonna use 1 tablespoon of the yeast, active dry yeast, or 1 packet, whatever equals to 1 tablespoon. Okay. And this recipe calls for honey instead of sugar. I mean, or I guess normally you would use sugar. We're using honey. It really, I mean, if you don't want to use it, you don't feel comfortable with it, keto or low carb, it's just 1 teaspoon, and it's basically it's gonna help feed the yeast and help your bread grow nice and fluffy. So that's why it's in the recipe. But if you feel uncomfortable and don't want to use it, or you just don't want to use it, you don't have to. I mean, it's not gonna be a significant amount of carbs. Okay, so I'm just gonna want to head and put that, and I'm doing this in the specific order that she did in her video. She actually has a video, 2 videos. One of them where she makes the bread in a stand mixer, just like the one I have here. And then she has one where she made it just like I'm making it today, just in a bowl, just mixing everything together, okay? So the next thing she has in the recipe is 4 tablespoons of powdered erythritol. I actually prefer to use just 2 tablespoons. It makes the bread sweet. You know, most of the, or all of the sliced breads, sandwich breads, are quite sweet. I found that using this one, this monk fruit, I only really need 2 tablespoons for my taste, okay? So I'm gonna go ahead and 2 tablespoons, and I'm going to link under the description of this video. I'm gonna put a link to her actual video. She's the one, it's her recipe. And you can get all of her tips and the actual recipe from her. Okay, so that was the powdered sweetener. Mine's is not powdered, but it's granular. We also gonna need 2 large eggs, okay? And these are just, I just mix them up. I'm gonna do the eggs in there. You don't have to wait for the yeast to activate or anything. I mean, I know my yeast is good. I know that, but you don't have to wait. You can wait 5 minutes, but you really don't have to if you know your yeast is good. So, those were the eggs, and then we're going to start adding the dry ingredients. And the dry ingredients you may or may not have at home. Again, if you do, if you bake keto or low carb, you may. But if you can, if you don't have them, you can get them online. I've actually found all these on Amazon, so you can do that. It's really worth getting, and you can make a ton of these breads or any other breads with these. So this is oat fiber. I know the container, the bag looks a little weird. I've had it for a while. It's actually lasted me a while, but it is just oat fiber, and we need a half a cup. Oat fiber is just fiber, basically, from oats. It's not oatmeal, it's not powdered oats, it's just the fiber, okay? So this is low carb. So here's a half a cup of that, and I can see the yeast foaming even if I didn't wait. Okay, we're gonna use a half a cup of the oat fiber. We're gonna need 2/3 of a cup of flaxseed meal. This is the brand that I like. There's whole flax seeds, they're like the darker ones. I've tried using those. I don't like it. The taste is too fishy for me. And I find these, you can barely tell. You know, there's barely any fishy smell or taste. And I keep this in the fridge as well because it can spoil. So we're gonna need 2/3 of a cup of this. This is my 2/3 of a cup measure. And really this recipes just dump and stir. And if you can, I don't know if you can see, but these are lighter in color. These are the ones really that I think that I like the best and that you'll have best results with the taste. So we have 2/3 of that. Then the main ingredient I think here that makes this an actual bread is this Vital Wheat gluten. This brand is Anthony's. I get this on Amazon. I have bought Bread's meal too, but it's more expensive, and honestly, this works just the same. So you can get this on Amazon. So we're gonna need a cup and a quarter. Okay, so this is my half a cup measure. There's a half a cup. There's a cup, and then we need a quarter, which is this one right here. Okay, so the next thing is a half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. I've never made it without xanthan gum. It helps with the elasticity and the chewiness. So I don't know if you don't have this, I don't know if you can, if it's okay not to use it. So we're gonna use a half a teaspoon. This is a quarter, so I'm gonna need 2 of these. And I know xanthan gum you can find at the store. A lot of the stores are carrying it like in little packets. I like to buy this brand, which is Now NOW. I got that on Amazon too. And 1 teaspoon of salt. I think she uses the pink Himalayan salt. I use this salt for everything in my cooking and my baking, so 1 teaspoon of that. And again, you don't want to put it on top of the yeast area. You just want to put it right on top of all of the dry ingredients. And the last thing that you're going to want to add or need to add to this mixture is butter. And this is 2 tablespoons of room temperature butter. And I'm actually going to just kind of mix in a little bit. I don't know if you can see this, but yep. And just go ahead and put in the butter, and we're just going to mix it. If you were using the stand mixer like this, you could just put all that in there just like I did And with your dough attachment, your dough hook attachment, you would just let it run a little bit and it comes together pretty quickly, okay? So I'm just going to mix this with a spoon, just like I'm doing here, and you'll see that it's all coming together. Since we add the butter last, you want to make sure that you spread it out really well. You're not really going to need this dough as per se, because as you can see, it comes together very quickly, because of course the vital wheat has a lot of protein, large protein content, so it's not really going to need much mixing. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what it looks like. I do like to mix it really well to make sure everything comes together, and you can knead it inside the bowl or mix it. It's not even like, it doesn't even need to be kneaded, it's already. I just like to do this to make sure it's all incorporated and I don't have chunks of one thing or the other. But as you can see, it sticks a tiny bit, but not really. And you're really gonna enjoy this bread. Okay, so once we have done this, as you can see, it's a dough. And my bowl is clean. I lost my light there. Sorry about that. Anyways, so my dough is clean, my bowl is clean, and here's my dough, okay? And you're gonna wanna just shape it into this, to go into this loaf pan. Okay, don't worry about it being a little sticky, it's not a big deal. At this point, you're just gonna wanna roll it and shape it into some kind of bread loaf. It may not look too pretty, but you'll see. This is gonna rise. Maybe an actual. Okay, so we'll put it in our pan, kind of measure it, it fits perfect. Now, there's conventional breads made with like regular wheat, you usually have to let them rest, and then once they're ready, punch them down and let it, have it grow again. This bread, you don't have to do that. You only just let it grow once, and then you're ready to bake it, okay? So once you have it in your pan, you're gonna wanna cover it, and it is gonna grow. I'll show you later what it looks like. It's gonna grow. You're gonna wanna cover it with plastic wrap. You wanna spray the plastic wrap to make sure it doesn't stick. Put it on top and put it on the side, and once you see it grows over the top of the pan, then you're gonna be ready to bake it. She bakes it at 375 for 20 to 25 minutes, and I'll show you the end result when it's